I'm surprised I'm alive. I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but god damn it, I can't believe I made it out of that hell. Okay, now to warn you what I'm talking about. You see, there's this road, but it's not just any road. It's not like I can actually give you directions to find it. It only appears when someone is in a state of doubt, like myself, for instance. I was in doubt of my girlfriend's love and loyalty. 2 days ago, she told me she was sick and couldn't come over that night. Me being me, I told her that I understood and wished her to get better. I decided I'd go out with a buddy of mine since she was sick. We went to the mall to hit up the arcade. We was like an hour in, having fun, when I could have swore I seen my girlfriend Jessica walking with a guy I didn't recognize. I took off after them, but when I rounded the corner, they were gone. My friend came from behind me, tapping me on my shoulder, making me jump a little. Hey, man, what happened? You just bolted out of nowhere, he asked in a worried tone. I shook my head and replied back with, No, I'm good. I just thought I saw someone, that's all. I looked at him with a reassuring smile. After I got home, I called her, and she didn't pick up. Was I just being paranoid? I was known to be sometimes. I hate to admit it, but unfortunately it's true. I tried calling a couple more times, and still I got nothing. I didn't even bother leaving a voicemail because this is something that I wanted to talk to her in person. I stayed in the house the next night, which leads me to tonight. I haven't spoken to her since she told me she was sick, and I did try calling her yesterday at least 3 times, but it was the same. I didn't try calling her today. I needed time to myself, so I waited until it started to get dark outside. It was then that I decided to go for a walk. I strapped on my shoes and put on my hoodie, just in case it was too cold out. It was a little cold, but it didn't bother me to keep my hoodie on, so I did. I had been walking for 30 minutes when I came up upon this random road. I call it a random road because it's never been here before. I've lived in this area all my life, plus I've always walked along this part of town, and this road wasn't here. Curiosity took over, so I started to walk down it. It was odd. The way the trees lined up the road in the dim moonlight made it seem ominous. I was about to turn around to go back, but when I turned around, I seen what looked like a man walking in my direction. I decided against it and continued forward, trying to get away from the man. It looked like he had a knife, and I wasn't down to get stabbed on a road that I've never been down before. 15 minutes later, I peeked over my shoulder to see if he was still there, and he was. But this time he was closer. Sweat started dripping out of my pores. I was fucking scared. I heard his footsteps get louder and louder, all up until I heard them break out into a run. So I ran too. I do not want to find out why he was following me, but little did I know, I had a lot more to worry about. No matter how fast I ran, I made no progress, and he was right on my heels. He lunged at me and I jumped to the side of the road. I hit my head on a rock. I could feel the blood dripping from over my right eye. I then remembered why I had jumped and hit my head on the rock. I quickly jumped to my feet and looked around for the man who had been chasing me. But he wasn't there. Who the fuck's there? I shouted, trying to sound intimidating, but honestly, I sounded like an idiot. but I was met with silence. I waited for a bit, but nothing happened. I decided to go home at that point. But when I tried, it felt like I had walked into a wall. I stood there baffled by this. I put my hand out in front of me and moved it forward until it stopped. It had felt as if I was pushing against a wall, but there was nothing there. I dropped my head to the ground and saw a piece of paper with writing on it. I bent down to pick it up, and once I had it in my hand, dread washed over me instantly. The paper read, "You are not allowed to go this way. You have entered my domain, and the only way for you to leave is to continue down my road. That's if you can survive." I dropped the paper and sighed. Fuck. This is just great. I wanted time to clear my head. Now I got more shit to deal with. I decided to go ahead and continue down this evil road, although I didn't want to. I may be mad, but I am also terrified. It didn't take long for things to happen after that. First were the screams. It sounded like thousands of people were being brutally murdered. Like they were screaming as if being stabbed repeatedly. I saw no one. Just the road. It's just me and this fucking road. The screams lasted for what seemed like forever. And as quick as they started, they stopped. Sweet relief from my ears, which felt like they were bleeding. And when I checked, sure enough, they were. I kept walking down the road, and I got the sudden urge to just run, and that's exactly what I did. I couldn't control myself, it just happened. But when I looked behind me, I'm glad I did. Behind me were 4 mean-looking dogs chasing me, ready to sink their teeth in my ass. I shouldn't have kept looking at them, because when I had finally looked back in front, I saw him, as in the man who was following me earlier. And I was right. He did have a knife, and it was stained with blood. Dry blood, so it wasn't recent. Maybe a couple days old at most. I looked behind me, and to my surprise, the dogs were gone. The man started to speak once I looked back at him. "You shouldn't have come to my road," he said as he stepped closer. The moonlight hit his face, and then it hit me. It was the same guy I thought I seen my girlfriend with at the mall. He started walking in my direction, knife in hand. I tried to tell him to stay away, but I couldn't form the words. I tried to run, but my feet wouldn't move. He just kept walking, an eerie smile on his face as he continued his advance. The closer he got, images flooded my vision. And these images were some of the most horrible things I've seen, and I wish I hadn't. The images were of him and my girlfriend. Them walking in the mall. Him taking her home, and then tying her up and gutting her slowly. The image is too gruesome for me to go into full detail, and I don't really feel like vomiting again. But as the images fade, the man came back into view. The man came back into view, and he was in my face. So close, I could feel his breath on my face. I was so freaked out I didn't know what to do. I couldn't move. I couldn't speak. He leaned in close and whispered into my ear, "You will die, but not today." As soon as he spoke those words, he was gone and I was back on a familiar road. But the entrance to that road that I was just on was gone. I made it out alive. I made it through. I made it through that torment, and now I'm here warning you that if you ever see a road you don't remember being there when you're doubting things in your life, don't go down it. It's not worth it. I don't know if my girlfriend is alive or dead, but I'm going to find out. Be safe, guys. 2 days ago, a man was arrested at his girlfriend's home. His girlfriend was dead, and he was found holding her body, murder weapon up far. The police arrested the man and locked him up. Yesterday I took his life while he was in jail because once you enter my road, you will never be able to escape me. You will be my prisoner for all eternity. See you all real soon.